MLB The Show 23 is the greatest MLB The Show of all time. They really have been building up to this, and they've been updating gameplay every single year. They have been working hard on Road to Show and also Diamond Dynasty. But the one mode that they have been neglecting for a lot of years is franchise. So let's rewind a few years to look back at the history. In MLB The Show 19, they added a new game mode, which was an accelerated franchise called March to October, where you would select a team and play kind of a faster franchise where you didn't have to worry about the little things in franchise, didn't have to worry about the 162 game season. You pretty much had a fast track to get to the following season. And really, it was a March to October. I mean, you just went pretty much not too many hours put into the game, just marched straight into October, and it was an accelerated process. It was nice, but for the true franchise gamers, it really wasn't that good. But then in MLB The Show 20, we really saw some new features come to life, including custom team, where it allowed you to relocate and create custom teams, put them in franchise. You did not get to expand the MLB, but you did get to replace current MLB teams or just, redo their uniforms or whatever you wanted to do. You also had the ability to upload logos. This was the year of pinpoint pitching that was introduced, which was used very often on Diamond Dynasty. They also added the perfect swing, which was awesome and allowed you to see, how good your timing was. And if you got a perfect, you would hit the ball a mile. They definitely tuned that so that perfect swings do not always result in a home run or a base hit, but it was a welcome addition. In MLB The Show 21, they introduced Stadium Creator. Now, this actually looked like a big step forward for franchise, which allowed you to already create a custom team, but now you are able to have a custom stadium. But I think this was more geared towards Diamond Dynasty still. It allowed you to have an own custom stadium within Diamond Dynasty. It also was in franchise as well. But I thought that this was kind of a way to make up for the lack of features in franchise, and it was a very big one. Don't get me wrong. This was an awesome addition. They also added cross-platform play during this iteration, two-way players, and then introduced the ball player, which was your created guy where you got to use him in Road to the Show, and also Diamond Dynasty if you really, truly pleased. Now, while these were really good additions to MLB The Show 21, I think the next year really told the biggest story. In MLB The Show 22, I think there was just a focus on Diamond Dynasty, and I think that franchise was forgotten. I had lost all hope in MLB The Show 22 for franchise players, especially like me, who like the immersion. I like the deep depth of Dynasty, and I like having, features added every year. I think that franchise is a mode that should always be touched because there are so many people that buy the game and play the game for an eternity, and those guys are never recognized. I really thought this was the end when I looked at the feature premiere calendar for MLB The Show 22. There was no update on franchise as a headline, which definitely told the story of what was to come in MLB The Show 22. And then the community got involved. Started saying fix franchise, kind of like the fix Madden franchise. It was the same thing. They started to listen to the community, and MLB The Show 23, they finally made the big change. 23 offers a lot of new features, and I want to get into a few of those which really did change the game. If you guys have been following baseball in 2022, it was a year that was like very special, and moving into 23, we now have kind of superstars back in baseball. Aaron Judge had the 60 home run season. You see Shohei Ohtani as a two-way player. He is making waves, and then I think the MLB is finally getting some swagger behind it. You see Randy Arozarena, all the celebrations, all of that stuff, and bringing that to the show has definitely helped. It started in 2023 with the World Baseball Classic, and how about the World Baseball Classic? It was an instant classic, to be honest with you. How about the final out coming between Mike Trout at the plate and Shohei Ohtani on the mound? You could not even draw a better script. So MLB The Show decided to add some of the players from the World Baseball Classic. So you are able to add those into your franchise right away if you so please. Let's talk about gameplay. Gameplay has always been the shining star in MLB The Show. It's been something that's been worked on every single season. It's something that they can never neglect, obviously, because it's the core of the game. And I think for a lot of years they were focusing on this, and there was a weird transition from the Xbox One phase to the Xbox Series X, along with the PS4 to PS5 phase. And I think that they had a hard time really transitioning the code from the old gen to the new gen, so to speak. So I think that franchise, for a reason, had not been touched at all. I think they had a lot of legacy code they had to clean up, everything like that, in order to add new features. But in MLB The Show 23, I think that it all came together, and it started with gameplay. Gameplay is absolutely smooth. It's one of the smoothest in all of sports gaming, and in my opinion, every single year, MLB The Show really shows its worth just with gameplay alone. But obviously, the people that are starving for, a deeper experience are definitely the ones that were kind of not making a stink about the updates in MLB The Show each year, but just the lack of immersion in each game mode, especially franchise. Now, one mode that has always gotten updates, Road to the Show, and I think that face scan was a huge feature that they added to MLB The Show, simply because MLB The Show has really been about immersion. I mean, it's a 162 game franchise. It's a 162 game Road to the Show if you choose to play every game. I mean, it's just deep, it's long, and you want to be immersed. And I think that face scan is one of the best things that they could have possibly added. It's been on NBA 2K for a while, but finally adding that into the show has definitely helped with that immersion. Along with the face scan features, they added new cutscenes. Now, if you have not played Road to the Show, I'm not a big Road to the Show player, but you do have cutscenes where you get to interact with, your coaches. You get to make decisions about your career, all of that type of stuff, and you are actively progressing your guy. And it's very, very personal. And I think that adding that face scan in there, along with the cutscenes and decisions, it definitely brings the mode fully together. So now we move on to franchise, and franchise was one of the modes that needed to be touched for so many years, and we finally got it this year with a revamped scouting system. The draft really has changed things in MLB The Show. It gives you that immersion. And one thing that really stands out among the rest is the scouting system, and how you don't really know how good a player prospect will be until you actually sign him. That is awesome to me. And seeing that you get to scout players, you can scout them halfway, you can scout them fully, just to be sure. You have to hire good scouts in order to know around the range that they are expected to be. And there are also generational prospects in drafts. Now, a generational prospect is a 99 potential player that has a high overall right away. I've seen players that are generational prospects be 99 overall and be like 82 overall. This is kind of cool because maybe not realistic where players go straight to the pros, but it's cool to see players that stick out in draft classes, guys that you don't want to miss out on. I kind of faced, not a generational prospect, but I kind of faced a scenario where I want to point out in my Arrow series where I really had to make a tough decision when it came to the draft. I had an 80 to 85 potential third baseman who was going to the University of Miami. He played there 4 years, and he was a solid prospect. Or I could choose the 18-year-old who looked like a solid prospect. Our team said he was draft ranked higher than the 4-year player, and I decided to go with the 18-year-old. I trusted my scouts. Even though I did not fully scout the 18-year-old Ray Gonzalez at shortstop, I trusted that my scouts knew what they were talking about when they were ranking him higher than what maybe I did. And I trusted the system, and that kind of worked out for me because I ended up drafting Ray Gonzalez, and he is already at the MLB level after one full season in the minors, and he ended up being 70 overall right away and 90 potential. So he ended up being a pretty good 18-year-old right away, not quite generational, but finding guys like this that you can build your organization around, those are the guys that will make your franchise fun. Seeing the growth in your young players and allowing them to obviously be groomed in the organization, you can do it any way you want. As long as you scout the players fully and end up making good decisions, you will be in an immersed world here in MLB The Show 23. Now, free agency was definitely a big thing that came up in MLB The Show 22. They did add realistic contracts. So as you can see, Juan Soto received a $300 million contract. I think now players are getting like $500 million. So they're probably going to have to tweak that for the next MLB The Show. But I definitely like the fact that players just will not sign with your team. I want to give you an example in franchise. For example, when I tried to go after, one of the big name guys, I think it was Shohei Ohtani became a free agent. I just, for fun off camera, I tried to offer him a contract and I offered him the largest amount I could. And then Sim today, and he just said, I do not want to sign with you. I think that is completely realistic. I'm a team in Indianapolis and he's Shohei Ohtani. He should not probably be re-signing with us or signing with us at all. So I kind of like that aspect. If you are a unsuccessful team, now they haven't pretty much put it out there what player motivations are there, but it's kind of cool to see, the top tier players pretty much just turn you down. And you have to go with players like this, like Anderson, who was 72 overall and kind of in the back end of his career. I had to offer him a $1 million contract and he ended up turning that down. He did not want any part in our rebuild also. So I kind of like how players will not sign with you and they will kind of turn down contracts if you are a bad team. And if you do want these guys, you have to give them huge contracts. And even then, they may not re-sign. So franchise has really come together. There is a long way to go. But I think that right now, this is the best MLB The Show of all time. And it's been a whole lot of fun to play. Now, if you are new to my channel, check out my Indianapolis Arrows franchise. I've been having a lot of fun with it, and we are still going here. We are in season 4, and you won't be too late joining the show because this has been a fun series. We've had 3 years of rebuilding and drafting, and we've drafted pretty well. We even had the #1 pick in season 2. And even then, I did not have a generational prospect until season 4's draft. I did not see any generational. So there's a chance you may get a generational prospect every single draft, or they may come around once every 3, 4, sometimes even 5 years. And I got one once in 4 years. So that is going to be pretty cool to see how they take that and how far they take it in future MLB The Shows. I think that the scouting system that they added just needs a little tweaking, but I think it's pretty good and solid as a base for what else they can do in franchise. And I'm very excited about the future of this game. I've been having a ton of fun rebuilding the Arrows. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you guys check out my series on the channel with the Indianapolis Arrows. Hope you guys have a great day. Stay tuned. Let's get it. Let's go.